Okay. Um, this your soul brother, Talib. I'm back with a subject that I want to just go on ahead and speak on because of time consuming circumstances and stuff. So I just want to get on through with this video so I could wrap this up. But however, you know, I know there are those, even people that I talk to, that may disagree with where I still stand at in terms of, black people being better off exterminated. But as we look around and see the evidence of what's going on with us as a group of people here in this country, as which I usually refer to as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born here in America, I would like to just say that we are in a situation that we may be better off, as I've said before, being exterminated. Of course, most of you, especially in the so-called pro-black conscious community, may want to know why I'm saying this. Well, look, we're killing each other at all-time high numbers. Okay, we're not doing nothing to stop that in any type of collective, effective manner. We're not only dying at the hands of each other, but of course at the hands of the races. And, it's gotten to the point where we have no love whatsoever. No kind of love for each other as a group of people. Now, mind you, all humanity has some type of kind of, dynamic issue going on as people in general. But when it comes to so-called American Negroes who are descendants of slaves born here in America, we have no type of sense of unity whatsoever. We have no type of sense of, demonstration in our actions of showing that we really got love for each other, let alone respect. Most of us commonly today, we see each other, another black man see another black man, a black woman see another black woman. We don't know how to even address each other or talk to each other without some type of kind of form of negative reaction coming behind it, and that right there alone, although that may seem small to some, but that there alone indicates that we have no type of, togetherness. None. It's just got to that point. I mean, we, just like we're murdering each other at an all-time high rate, we're, showing resentments, envy, jealousy toward each other as well at all-time rates, at high all-time rates. And I mean, history, whether we go back even to slavery, or whether we go back to so-called Jim Crow segregation, I mean, we saw that among black people in this country, of course. But we see it even more at an all-time high, to the point where we just don't care. I watch how we even how most of us treat children that we bring in the world, that's brought in this world, and how we bring them in these type of in reprehensible situations in the type of world we're living in, especially in this pro-racist society that we're living in, and we abandon them. We show them no form of protection whatsoever. But yet we steady say we loved them, where we really loved them. Why aren't we protecting them from getting killed by the racists? Why aren't we protecting them from other life-altering dangers, And so, therefore, we cannot, sit up here and play games with ourselves like we really love our youth or children, because as evidence demonstrate in ways of action, we really don't, no matter regardless what we say. First of all, we are, many of us, or those among us who are parents, especially in this generation, we made a mistake by helping to bring children in this world, in this type of society that we live in. And knowing what type of stuff we got to wake up to every day. Not knowing if we gonna be here the next moment, the next minute, the next day. Because of the crazy elements along with the racist elements that's going on in this society called the United States of America. And I mean, it's like we have no concern, We neglect our children, and even in terms of the schools we put them in, where they're not protected, we don't have no system set up, no kind of way that would shield our people from such abuses and discriminatory injustices. And this is the reason why I was on a platform called Operation Exodus Mississippi Campaign, bringing that to the attention of many of you in social media who are dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America, that you may heed the call that we can make this a reality. But many of you ignored it. It fell on many deaf ears. It's like, out of all the stuff we've tried, that of course hasn't worked in terms of, rising up out of our nearly 500-year-old oppressive condition as a people, has come to show that, the only thing that we had was what me and a brother were bringing proposably to the table, since these other things didn't work. You know, and the Mississippi campaign with the ingredients in it, which we showed on the platform, proved to be the solution that would negate all these problems, that would end all these problems, at least to the degree that, black people who are descendants of slaves born in this country would not have to suffer so much of the eternal lies and oppression that we do as a people in this country, And so my thing is this, is that it's gotten to whereas, since I see that we're not really interested in truly being liberated or free, as a lot of us so much claim to be, and for those pro-black organizations, especially like the Nation of Islam, who always talk this let's separate crap, you're not interested in that neither. Because, look, that organization, the Nation of Islam, has been around about over 80 years. 20 years less than a century, and they still ain't made no real major moves in that direction, far as separation from our nearly 500-year-old slave oppressor. So therefore, once again, that proves that we're really not interested in separating from our oppressor. And I mean our racist oppressor, We're not, we're not interested. We'd rather remain here in America and be, constantly up under threat, up under siege, or in some type of form of danger just because of the skin color, just because of our darker skin color. And we'd rather allow our younger generations as well as future generations to come after them to suffer the same situation as we've continuously suffered for almost 500 years. So my thing is this. This is why I say that, in one whole nutshell, we're better off being exterminated. We're better off being exterminated. Whatever happens in America, whether it be militarily, economically, or whatever happens that's going to lead to possibly bringing America down to her knees as a nation, remember one thing. So-called black people or so-called African Americans or whatever else you choose to call yourselves here in this country as a people are going to be the first ones on the chopping block. We're going to be the first ones hauled off to concentration camps and mass graves. If you think about it and go back and look at history, whatever major situation that has ever befell this country in terms of economics, in terms of military warfare, who was the first to be put on the chopping block? None other than dark-skinned descendants of slaves born here in America. So like I said before, we would have worse affected by this past recession that started back in 2008. Okay? So like I said before, everything that has shown signs to befall the fabric of society, black people always had the worst end of it and will continue to have the worst end of it. So I'm just using that as a warning sign, because the future of America is looking bleaker and bleaker. I mean, they're trying to make war with countries like Iran, North Korea, and I'm talking about countries that got ties to China and Russia. I mean, like someone said, you don't know how that situation gonna turn out. And we over here, wasting time that really we may have ran out of in order to, advance ourselves as a people like we should have done a long time ago. And so, I mean, it's like this here. All this crazy in-house fighting we have going on among each other, as far as religious differences, ideological differences, subcultural differences, other, petty, minute differences. I mean, and we steadily just at it. Why not looking at the bigger picture in front of us that has us, in this type of situation in the first place? But yet we continue to want to kill each other, because somebody glanced at you, because somebody looked or stared at you, then destroy yourselves, end up in the penitentiary, especially with a life sentence, destroy your families, other people's families, and then along with it, the rest of the community is destroyed altogether behind this type of nonsense. Because we have no aim, purpose as a people to advance ourselves up out of this situation that we're in. I mean, and the fact that we're not even paying attention, obviously, to the fact that not only that the races are at our throats, but you got these other groups in this country also that don't like us, whether you want to realize that or not. And they are now getting a more advantage edge over us. I'm talking about those that's even more recently immigrating to this country. They're getting more of a advantage over us in a lot of ways. So I mean, we're really, it's like, this is why I say we have no chance in the matter. We definitely have no chance in the matter. Because, and a matter of fact, you know what? I've come to the point, I truly want to see a different, better situation for dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. But you know what? Where the reality stands at in this whole scheme of things is that you know we're too deeply entrenched into our craziness and buffoonery that it's just too late. It may be too late for us to even make a decision to wake up and bring ourselves out the ashes of this mess that we find ourselves in as a people. And because we're so intertwined in it, and the fact that we've been so connectedly intertwined in it for almost 500 years even make it harder in terms of almost impossible. See, so my thing is this. This is why I said what I said, is that we're better off being exterminated. We don't, and to really be honest, with you, to tell you the truth of the whole matter is that, really, I know me, myself, a black male in my early 50s, and I do, like any other human, I do want to see longevity of life on this earth long as possible. But hey, I'm going to say this here. The reality is, because it is here, because of my darker skin color, hey, that can end at the quick hands of a trigger being pulled by a racist. So I'm fully aware of that, and I know that, okay? I'm not senile in no kind of way to that fact, okay? But I'm gonna say this here. There are those among us, 44 some plus million so-called black Americans in this country, that honestly, and I'm not the type that wish or anticipate nobody's death, period. Even, I don't care what the color of the skin is, even as for that matter, okay? But I'm gonna say this here, is that a lot of those among us as a group of people need to be, they'll be better off dead, even if a racist cop blow their head off. They'll be better off dead. Like, when that stuff first started back a few years ago with Michael Brown, with Trayvon Martin, and that other brother, I forget his name, that got killed in Florida, which was in Jacksonville, because he had his rap music up too loud and all this craziness. And racists killed him behind that, and then you had Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, and Freddie Gray, I think his name is, in Baltimore, that got killed by the police, while he was in custody. It's like this here. I was kind of more into that, even in terms of my emotions being concerned, because we have been oppressed so long as a people, we've become more accustomed to being emotional every time something happened to us without using critical thinking, But I'm gonna say this here. I don't get that emotional when I see every day or whenever I do run across something online where I see where a black or brown person and got killed in this country, especially those of us that are descendants of slaves born here in America. You know, I don't, I don't get that insensitive because of I don't get too caught up in emotions because of the fact that I realize that a lot of us were either on our way to committing crimes, more than likely against those of us that look like them, or they was on their way to doing something else foolish, and somehow down the road they ended up provoking the racist cop who will eventually blow their head off, which is the usual narrative. So I mean, and I'm not saying that those like Sandra Bland or Trayvon Martin, of course, deserved to die either, because there are numerous of us who were unjustly killed by the police, and it shouldn't have happened that way. Okay, so I'm not senile to that either. But there are many of us, there are a segment of many of us, will be better off dead, because they ain't no good to them, to anybody else, let alone themselves. Every day I walk out this door, and where I live at, it's not like I'm in a metropolitan area where it's a whole bunch of other black people. But when I walk out this door every day and I do run across some of us, those among some of us that I see out there, hey, it's unfortunate, especially around a lot of these white folks around here that are racist as well, I still got to have my guards up. I still have to, be on my, P's and Q's in terms of the security of my own safety, So, I mean, I'm not going to get that twisted. And you know what? The fact of the matter is, even in this case, with me personally, it seems like I end up getting more flack coming from other darker skinned people who are, of course, or appear to be descendants of slaves born here in America. And that's a fact. And no matter where I go, unfortunately, it's the same way. Because that is the mentality among us as a people. That we are not trying to do anything about as far as, changing our ways from being so much insensitized far as being against each other. I mean, I could walk down a block full of Caucasians, and it might be me and another black person to walk past each other, and they'll look at me like they want to rob me, or like they want to harm me. They won't even look at them Caucasians like that. See, this is the mentality I'm talking about, So my thing is this here. This is why I say that a lot of us are better off being hauled off to concentration camps and mass graves. Because soon and eventually, at the right time and the right opportunity, these peckerwoods get their way. Trust me, they will do just that. The reason you may ask yourself this question, and I've even asked myself this question, well, why haven't they done it now? Because the right time and the right situation and circumstances, did not come up for it to happen. Now you may, especially those of you in religion, you may say, well, we was in slavery for 300 years. We got out of that. But you know what? God got us out of that. Well, if God got us out of that, how come he ain't got us out of all the rest of this hell that we're in? You see what I'm saying? As a people in this country, with all this suffering, when it comes to racism, discrimination, mass incarceration, gerrymandering, Jim Crow, and all this other crap. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said before, this is why ones should use critical thinking when we make these emotional, reckless statements. The only reason we got out of slavery, chattel slavery, which our ancestors were in bondage in for over 300 years, was because the Peckerwood could not agree on a couple of simple issues which concern the economic plight and future of this country, which did not concern freeing Negro slaves. Okay? And what happened was they could not come to a peaceful agreement. So what happened? Both sides, speaking of the North and the South, ended up going to civil war over the matter. That was the only reason why. That's the only reason why today we're not somewhere in the cotton field bending over picking up stuff, or in the sugarcane field somewhere, working under torturous hot degree sun every day, day in and out. Okay? That is the only reason. So, like I said, and trust me, if these white folks, under any circumstances, had a way to bring that back, they would. Don't get it twisted. So all this about God got us up out of this, God got us up out of that. You know what? For those of you in religion, all I got to say is basically miss me with that. For real. I mean, what is God doing about all these murders going on in the black community among black people every day? What is he doing about all these drug addicts among us in the community? What is he doing about the mass incarceration that's got dark-skinned people overpopulating these prisons and jails across America? I mean, what is he doing about us as black people being a majority that are on death row across America. Okay? So tell me, what is he doing about that? You keep talking about this God thing, Jesus, spirituality thing a lot. What is he doing? You got all these black Christians, all these black Muslims in America, mosques, churches, on damn nearly every corner throughout America, in America's ghettos, and it's still the ghetto. It's still the ghetto. An old lady or an old elderly man can't even walk outside that church in the same ghetto and feel safe. I mean, you know, while they trying to live their very last days on earth in peace, you know? So tell me, what is God doing about all this crazy nonsense? You know, miss me with that. You know, but like I said before, you know, it's really then got to the point that a lot of us might as well not exist. Like I said. And like I said, those of you who disagree, and those of you I know that would disagree, I still love you. You know, ain't no hard feelings. But hey, the truth is the truth. You know, it is what it is. And I mean, hey, I mean, all we got to do is look around us. Especially in areas and pockets in America where it's a lot of us at, as black people, you know, a lot more of us that overpopulate certain areas in different pockets across America. All we got to do is just look around, you know, and see what's really happening, you know. I mean, this is serious, and it's gonna keep getting more serious. It's like you know. You're going to keep seeing a lot of us getting killed while social media video is being video recorded live, like on Facebook or something, you know. It's going to get crazy and crazy and crazier. You know, so this is the reason why I say, because we have no plan, no initial effective plan put in place, like the Mississippi campaign that me and the brother tried to propose to you on social media, you know, and we have no effective plan to get ourselves up out this situation. So this is the reason why we are looking at a bleaker future as a people. And we might as well, like I say, we all might as well be dead, you know. And I'm be honest with you, that include myself, because really I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm not saying this literally, you know, far as committing suicide or wanting to commit suicide, because I mean, it's like this. I know whenever it's my time to go, just like with anybody else, then we gotta go. Simple as that. You know, but the point is that we really have no hope, because we won't, first of all, we don't even know how to come together in a unified collective way to do anything about our condition, to change our condition around. That's number one. And we don't have no ambition, no interest in wanting to unite as a people. Okay? with that said, we have no, with that said, we have no, we have no chance in the matter. Our children have no chance, especially in the matter, because of the situation we put them in and allowed them to be in. But I'll be honest, getting back to the point I was going to make about the deaths aspect of it, is that if I died today, I would be one happy camper, because I wouldn't have to deal with this crap no more, period. Because this is hell on earth. Like an infamous rap group from back in the 90s called Mobb Deep once said, hell on earth. This is definitely hell on earth. Like I said, so, it really wouldn't matter. And the point I'm making is, like the old saying go, some got to die so some could live. Well, it's like this here. Many of us, among 44 million plus dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America, there's a lot of people in just that bunch. I'm not going to say all, of course, but it's a lot of people in that bunch, countlessly, that is better off dead. And, to go back to what I was saying a little earlier, in the video, when I see some of us who've gotten killed by the police or gotten killed by some other type of races or something, and, without even looking, and I may sound a little, cruel for saying this, but when I look at the post up online that it shows somebody that got killed by the police, that's somebody black that's got killed by the police, I just flip over it, and go to something else and read online or whatever, because I don't have time, you know what I'm saying, to sit up and read stuff like that, especially, like I said, when the truth of the matter is, in a lot of cases, I'm not saying all, like I mentioned before in this video, but unfortunately the truth is, a lot of us in numerous cases provoke these races to do what they want to do to us anyway, which is kill us, So, I mean, don't argue with me, per se, literally. If you're going to argue with the truth that I presented. The clear evidence is right there. Go look at it for yourself. Just open up your door, walk out, and just look around you. That's all I can say about that. Especially those of you that's in the ghetto. Because this is real. I don't have no, I don't have, this is why I don't get caught up on social media no more. I don't argue with people, because it's a bunch of nonsense. You know, you got a lot of us who are always talking about wanting to kill each other, wanting to do something to each other, especially because you disagree with somebody about something, you know, and it's just a bunch of crazy, ignorant nonsense. And I mean, hey, I don't really have time for it, honestly. I just don't. I don't have time for it. And so, you know, this is why I don't associate with a whole lot of people either. You know, and it's a definitely real reason for that. You know, and I mean, it's sad. You know, when we see we as black people can't even cohabitate with each other, but we trying to live with the racists in peace, and we don't even know how to cohabitate with each other. What about first law, first preservation, as they say? Learn how to get along with your own first before you learn how to get along with others, right? That's what I used to hear. That's a slogan I used to hear in the pro-black conscious community when I was caught up in that pro-black conscious debauchery and idiotic philosophical nonsense, you know. But hey, it is what it is, you know. And like I said, I mean, you know, it's real. And I'm going to tell you this. You know, you think that doo-doo don't stink, but if you keep living, if we don't do something about our situation in this country drastically as a people, we will find out exactly how much worse it smelled than we ever thought it did, you know. Because, I mean, this is serious. We are living in serious times. We are living in very serious peril times right now. It ain't getting no better, of course, because it's getting worse. But we're living in serious peril times right now. And like I said, we don't have, we may not even have a chance. We may not have enough time left to turn this around because we're so divided as a group of people anyway, you know. So, like I said before, you know, I've come to the point where, you know, like someone say, and I say, even no matter what the color of the skin is, if you're down with me, I'm down with you. Because it all boils down to the coming together of all of humanity, which it was like when man first stepped foot on earth. Before all this religious, racism, ideology came along in the planet Earth anyway. But like I said before, you know, I am growing to get away from that color thing called crayon, which me and other people call certain people call crayon, you know, because it don't really have no bearing on the true essence of humanity. It really don't. I mean, but for those of you that claim you woke, you need to become awoken to that as well. You know, and but like I said before, turning back to us or black people, you know, as I said before, we have no real common accord plan put in effect if anything was to happen to us as an entire group of people in this country that will alter us forever out of existence, because that's always been the enemy's plan. But many of you work with the enemy as well to help to bring a more quicker point to the demise of our people. You know, you work with the enemy to help bring our people down to their demise. So like I said before, and those, especially those of you in the pro-black conscious community, you working with the enemy. So what's the purpose of all this pro-black consciousness, blackety black crap anyway? What is the purpose of it? And which don't make sense anyway. But like I said, this is why at the beginning of the video, in my closing, I said we're better off being exterminated. And that's what I meant. And that's what I still and will always stand on. Unless something dramatically changes the course of our existence as a group of people here in America, I will always stand on that. So, hey, it is what it is. And that's if it does. Because it's looking more bleaker that won't never happen. And honestly, I hate to say this, but I be apologizing to myself that I've even gotten involved in the ideal of us even uniting as a people. I seriously do. And I attribute this also to a lot of black political prisoners in this country, like the ones that was involved in the original Black Panther Party, that was involved in the John Africa movement, that's still languishing in prisons across America, because those out here in the struggle have forgotten about them. And they probably, saying the same thing like me. I hate I even got myself involved in this so-called thing about pro-blackness or liberation or black solidarity and all this other stuff, because it ain't done nothing but help regress us than to further improve our situation as a people in this country. And with that said, I'm Audi 500.